We had just moved to a quiet suburb called Larkspur Ridge, a town so small that even Google Maps missed it. My mom had taken a teaching job there, and we rented an old red house at the very end of Larkspur Road. It looked abandoned, but it was cheap and spacious. I met new neighbors. My younger brother, Jamie, spent most of his time exploring the attic, where he found old boxes filled with books and dusty videotapes. Then things started to shift. It began on the third week when Jamie showed me a VHS tape he found. It was labeled Home Sweet Home in messy red marker. We didn't have a player, but the neighbors did, so we watched it in their garage. What we saw wasn't home footage. It was a video of a dimly lit room with a girl sitting on the floor, humming a lullaby. A tall figure stood behind the girl, no face, just a long shadow, and then the tape cut off. That night, Jamie had a nightmare. He said the humming girl crawled into his bed and whispered, "You shouldn't have watched." By the end of the week, Cooper refused to go upstairs. He'd whimper at the staircase and bark at the attic door. At first, I joked that he was afraid of heights. But then I started hearing footsteps above my room, slow, heavy, deliberate, like someone pacing. It couldn't be Jamie. He was grounded for smashing one of Mom's glass vases, and she locked the attic after that. Yet, the sounds continued. I tried to brush it off. Maybe it was squirrels or raccoons, until I found the attic key in my bed, wrapped in red ribbon. The next day, my mom started acting different. She stared at the wall in the kitchen for over 20 minutes without blinking. When I called her, she turned her head slowly and said, "Don't let her in," then went back to cooking like nothing happened. I thought she was joking or sleep-deprived, but her behavior only got weirder. She would talk to the empty hallway. She started sleeping in the bathtub, muttering something in Latin. One night, I heard crying from Jamie's room. When I opened the door, he was huddled in the corner, pointing to his closet. "She lives in there," he whispered. "She says the house used to be hers. She wants it back." I opened the closet. Nothing, just toys, clothes, and dust. I told Mom. She laughed like it was a joke, but her eyes looked scared, like she wanted to say something but couldn't. That's when I called Aaron, my friend from high school who now studied folklore and paranormal stuff. He arrived the next day with his equipment, EVP recorder, EMF reader, and even a journal of symbols. He had that kind of obsession. We started with the attic. Inside, the walls were covered in drawings, childish ones, a girl in a red dress, a tall, faceless man, a family with their eyes scratched out. In the corner was a small wooden box. Aaron opened it. Inside was a doll, handmade, with button eyes and a stitched mouth. It was burnt on one side. He took one look at it and said, "This looks like a binding doll, the kind used in possession rituals." We took the doll outside and buried it. That night, the lights in the house flickered. Jamie screamed. We rushed to his room and found him levitating. I'm not exaggerating. He was floating 3 feet above his bed, back arched, mouth open. A black shadow pulsed behind him like smoke. Aaron chanted something from his journal, and Jamie collapsed. We tried to leave the next morning. The front door was bricked up. Overnight, like someone had sealed us in. Every window showed a different view, not our street, but a forest, dead trees, hanging dolls. Aaron snapped. He started shouting, throwing holy water everywhere, burning sage, drawing sigils on the walls, but the walls bled through them. Mum sat in the hallway and kept whispering, "She's almost here. She's almost home." That's when we found the journal. Not Aaron's, a new one, stuffed behind a loose brick in the fireplace. It belonged to a girl named Lila Grace, dated 1968. Her family lived here. Her father murdered her and her mother in a cleansing ritual after claiming they were possessed. His last entry read, "She doesn't leave. Even fire won't kill her. She belongs to this house." Aaron flipped the page, and a photo fell out. It was the girl in the red dress, the same one from the VHS, the same one Jamie described, the same one we'd drawn in nightmares without knowing her. Aaron turned pale. This is no ghost. This is a presence, a tulpa. She's been fed by fear for decades. Every person who lives here, she grows stronger. We burned the journal, smashed the VHS, and lit every candle we could find. Aaron created a circle of protection. We held hands. That night we saw her, not in our dreams, not on tape. She walked through the hallway, head tilted, red dress soaked, her mouth stretched wider than any human could smile. She pointed to the wall. The paint peeled off to reveal one word: stay. We didn't. We ran through the basement. Smashed the wooden panels, crawled through the crawl space. When we emerged, we were 3 blocks away. The house was still visible, but the windows were black, empty. We never went back. Weeks later, I got a letter. No return address, just a note. You being her out. I talked to my mom and we changed our house. I don't know what happened to those came to live there after leaving my family, but I am spending normal life with this nightmare.